Welcome to the first lecture in the blood unit. Today's topic is what is blood? Did you know that the average person has 5.5 liters of blood? Even though blood is a fluid, it is actually classified as a type of connective tissue. When you go to the doctor and the phlebotomist draws your blood, she will take that test tube full of blood and put it into a centrifuge. That centrifuge will spin around until the test tube is going really, really fast. When the test tube is pulled out of the centrifuge, it'll look like this. The top yellow part is called plasma. 55% of blood is plasma. Most of plasma, actually 92% of it, is composed of water. The rest of plasma is composed of proteins, nutrients, and cellular waste, such as carbon dioxide. All cells create heat during cellular respiration, and cells need to get rid of it somehow. Well, one of the main functions of plasma is to transport heat. 45% of our blood is red blood cells. We can abbreviate red blood cells as RBCs. They are also known as erythrocytes. The function of red blood cells is to carry oxygen from our lungs to all the cells in our body. If you look at a blood under a microscope, you will see what looks like a whole lot of reddish pink circles. These are the red blood cells. If you look closely at one, you'll see that it has a biconcave shape. That's just a fancy word for donut shaped. Inside the red blood cells are molecules called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is actually a protein composed of 4 amino acid strands. Each strand has an iron molecule. Remember, we use Fe as the symbol for iron. The reason we have iron is that it binds oxygen. This is the reason that red blood cells can transport oxygen. The last part of the blood sample is called the buffy coat. This composes less than 1% of blood. It is made out of two components, white blood cells and platelets. White blood cells, or WBCs, are also known as leukocytes. WBCs appear as blue or purple circles under a microscope, and they look like they are bigger than red blood cells. The function of white blood cells are to fight infection. Platelets are cell fragments. They appear as tiny little purple dots under a microscope. Platelets help clot blood. In other words, they help to stop bleeding. The process of blood clotting is called hemostasis. Hemostasis is a type of positive feedback. Remember that term from our introduction to homeostasis? When you get a cut, platelets start to clump together. They form a clot by binding red blood cells and platelets together in a netting that is made out of fibrin. Platelets then send out a signal to attract more platelets to come to the clot. It's kind of like a platelet party, where the more platelets that arrive to the party invite even more platelets to come, and they in turn invite even more platelets. Well, that is our lecture about the composition of blood. To recap, blood is composed of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Remember to answer the questions at the end, and I'll see you guys next time.